And welcome to Big Apple Hockey for a late night edition of the Final Buzzer. I am your host. You know me. My name is John Flokowski. I go by Filk, whatever you want to call me. I've been used, expletives have been used to describe me. So we'll just go with Filk, whatever. Or you can call me by my government name, whatever is easier for you. But big night for the New York Rangers. The Rangers are, I guess if you want to call them what this guy and his co-host calls them, for realsies, not fugazis. But the Rangers get a big 4-1 win over the Minnesota Wild tonight in a revenge game. And, we got some guys. I see you guys all in the comments already talking about it, and girls too. I see you, Diane. But big win tonight. Big 4-1 win, revenge win. A better 40 minutes of hockey as opposed to 10 minutes. But yeah, bad second period. And a guy that likes spicy pork and broccoli actually came out pretty big tonight. So we'll talk about him in a little bit too. But there is a lot to talk about here. And you know what I'm going to do. So without further ado, I'll just play the video. You know what time it is. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's my breakdown. Got some good points to go over. A lot to talk about with this team, so let's get it on. Revenge win, 40 good minutes of hockey as opposed to 10. So the last time around the Rangers and the Minnesota Wild played last Saturday, the Rangers got off to a real good first 10 minutes of the game with a 3-0 lead, and we all thought, hey, that's going to be a win. They're going to win game number 7 in a row. You know, this wagon is rolling. Let's go. No, not the case. After the first 10 minutes of the game, the 3-0 lead, the Rangers took a bunch of bad penalties in a row, lost their momentum, and Minnesota stormed back. Well, Minnesota ended up doing that again. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the Rangers found a way to reverse that and stop that onslaught. And that ended up being the difference in the game. Minnesota came back hard in the second. The Rangers shut that down in the third, and they came out strong early in the third. So a real good 40 minutes of hockey, I would say, this time around. That middle 20 leaves a lot to be desired. But the Rangers, as opposed to falling apart after the 10-minute mark of the first period, like they did the last time, they finished the first period strong. And I was like, okay, this game is going to be different. This game's going to be different. And it ended up being different. Had some similarities in the middle part there, but it was a different outcome, a much different outcome, and a much better result. And yeah, I would agree with you, Romanello. This is a game that we don't recover from in the third. We lose 4-1 last year. Yeah, it's right on the money. Right on the money there. So I'm going to highlight this right now just because I should have put him in the stars, or I should put him in the good part. But Benoit Allaire, the work that he does with these goaltenders, it's just incredible. It's incredible. I mean, who thought Louis Domingue was going to come in and do what he did tonight? And I don't want to get too much into this because I want to talk about Domingue in a little bit. But just Benoit Allaire has just been so good for so long. And you can't ever doubt this guy. This guy is like above reproach. He really is. And there are not many guys that you could say that about, but Benoit Allaire has just been a godsend to this team. He's like a goaltending guru, a god, whatever you want to call him, virtuoso. He's like a Joe Satriani or a Slash of goaltending coaching. So one of those types of guys. Gonna move on from that. Artemi Panarin, yeah, pun intended. Artemi Panarin, 2-point night, 8 goals, 22 points on the season, third in NHL scoring. What is this guy? This guy is doing everything right now for this team. Everything. The defense has been good from him. could still be better, but it's been better than it has in the last couple of years. He's playing like a Hart Trophy caliber player right now. And I know Elias Pettersson's having an amazing year in Vancouver, but Panarin has just been incredible for this team, considering the injuries that they've dealt with and the division that they are in. So just everything that he's doing is just right now. He had the empty netter to seal it. He had the big assist on the 2-1 go-ahead goal to Alexis Lafreniere. It's just incredible. He's shooting the puck. Teams don't know what he's going to do right now. The last couple of years, it's been, he's going to pass the puck. He's going to pass the puck. Play the pass. Nope. He's shooting now, and now it's a problem for everybody. So he's on a pace of over 40 goals. He's got 8 goals already. So this is a big year for Artemi Panarin so far. And I think he's going to continue it. So, and just remember, please, if you can, like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate that. So everything that you can do to help us grow this channel, we appreciate it. So smash that like button. So I'm going to move on from Panarin. And I just got to say this right now. With Filip Chytil out, Vinny Trocheck has stepped up big time. And I mean big time. I'm actually going to throw on that Oilers game as well. So I just got back home from a friend's house, so I want to throw on some of these games. But I really like what I see from Vinny Trocheck. He gets called up to that second line, and then all of a sudden he just starts clicking with Panarin and Lafreniere. It's incredible because he could go back down to that third line, play with Cooley again, and just it's incredible to see what's going on with guys like Trocheck and any line that he plays on right now. It just seems like it's clicking. So I love the structure. I love his play. His two-way play has been great. He's been agitating people. He's been winning face-offs. He's been doing everything. He has been one of the key guys to really step his game up with the absence of guys like Chytil, Fox, Igor, and so on. So Vinny Trocheck, hats off to you. I mean, this was a guy that got a lot of flack from fans. Even though he had a 60-point year last year, there were fans that were looking to get rid of him. Oh, we need to get rid of that contract. We need to get rid of that contract. He's a $5 million third-line center. Nope, he ain't playing like that. Not right now. So Vinny Trocheck, another great game from him. Alexis Lafreniere, is he finally here? Is this the year that he breaks out? I mean, this is looking like the year that he finally breaks out. He's up to 9 points now. 9 points for Alexis Lafreniere. And just remember, his career high is 39. So he's only 30 points away from that. And we're only, 13 games into the season? So you got to love what you're getting from Alexis Lafreniere right now. So I really think that this is it. I really think that he's finally turned the corner. He looks confident. He's playing well with guys that he should be playing well with. Everything is working. The feet are moving. The efforts are there. It's clicking to him. I think he finally understands how to be a pro. And this is what you would look for, and for a sign of development. I'm not sure about how I feel at the about the stash, but I do love that. And John, I'm hoping 60 plus points too. From your lips to the hockey god's ears, all this is just so right now. It really is. Like he looks like he's just in there. He looks like he's focused. He's in the zone. But I love what I'm seeing from Alexis Lafreniere. I really do. He's going to the right places. The plays that he's making, he probably should have like 3 more assists, and he'd be closer to a point per game. Capo Caco needs to get going. He absolutely needs to get going. So I don't think that his game has really been good enough for my money. Laugh is the guy right now, though, out of the kids. I mean, you could talk about, obviously, you could talk about Filipino and how good he's been, but wow, I would tell you right now, his Laugh's game is just it's taken a corner, it's turned a corner, and he's gotten to another level. So I love what I'm seeing. I don't. I don't, and I don't understand this comment right here. I really don't, because he scored 90 points without Taves. If he was playing with like DeBrincat and Dylan Strome and had a 90-point season, so that's really just false. But I love what I'm seeing from Laugh. I really do. I think he's just there. I think it's finally here. I think we're and I think there's better communication between him and the two previous coaches. I think that's part of it too. Like you've got to have a coach that really knows how to handle players, and Peter Laviolette is that guy. I know that a lot of Ranger fans thought that he wasn't, because supposedly he wasn't great at developing young talent because Washington just didn't have it. But Peter Laviolette has really been pushing the right buttons with Alexi Lafreniere, and you got to give a lot of credit to Laviolette. So I'm going to move on, though, from Laffy, because there is more to talk about. The defense steps up big time. Trouba, Miller, and Gustafson have all played very, very well. And you know what? I gave Trouba a lot of crap, a lot of flack. And I've been one of his biggest critics, I would say. But Jacob Trouba has been an absolute rock for this team. I can't say enough good things right now about Jacob Trouba, the way he's playing. If Adam Fox comes back, this team really starts firing on all cylinders with Trouba and Miller continuing strong play. This team's going to be real tough to deal with the captain playing the way that he's been playing. So good on Jacob Trouba. I'm going to have to eat my crow. I mean, no. All right. Let me be clear here. He's not going to live up to that $8 million price tag. I am not saying that he's going to. He's just not going to on a second pairing. He's not that type of defenseman. He's not. It's not like we're putting Drew Doughty on the second pairing and he's still giving you 40 points and Norris caliber defense. No, Jacob Trouba has been solid, though. He's solid. And that's all that you want him to be at this point. He's not going to live up to that contract. Nobody is going to at that point in that situation. There are very few defensemen that could really pull that off. So, but Trouba's been really good. Keandre Miller has been really good. And Eric Gustafson has just been a revelation for this team. A revelation. And yeah, Mark, Zibanejad definitely played tonight. I'm trying to click that comment. I don't know why I can't click it. There we go. Yeah, Zibanejad played tonight. I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was great. I still think that line needs to be better at 5-on-5. But I thought he would play, or I thought he played pretty well, I should say. I want more out of Kreider at 5-on-5. I know that everybody's going to say, oh, well, Kreider's scoring goals. No, I want more at 5-on-5. No, I know you were being sarcastic. I got it, but I'm just saying, like, that line needs to be better at 5-on-5. There's no way around it. I think part of the problem is that they just don't have a good third piece on that line. And we've seen this for, I would say, 3 years now, where they don't have right wing depth. And it comes back to hurt them, because the lines suffer at 5v5, especially when you're having someone like Dryden Hunt there. Blake Wheeler, yeah, he got his first goal tonight, but what has he done at 5v5 other year? And listen, I'll agree with this. He looks slower. He looks slower than he's normally been. Like I want to see him. I want to see him start beating guys to pucks. I want to see him in on that forecheck. This is not the Chris Kreider that we've known for years, where he's playing hard and he goes in hard on the forecheck. Chris Kreider used to be someone that at 5v5 was just a monster because he was a forecheck nightmare. So, listen, I get why people are on Zibanejad because he's supposed to be the play driver on that line, but it takes three people to have a line. It does. And if one of the guys on that line is not contributing in some sort of way to help that line out, then the rest of the line suffers badly. And that's what we've seen with that line. Capo Caco's been a nothing burger on there. He hasn't. It's just what it is. He hasn't been good. He hasn't. And I hoped for so much for Caco. I really did. Wheeler has just been too slow on that line, and you cannot have a slow player on your first line anymore. It just doesn't work like that. This isn't the 2012 Bruins where Milan Lucic can go play with Tyler Seguin and David Krejci, and it's a great, one or two line. So, yeah, this is alarming. That's alarming. That's not good. That is not good at all. You can't be 13 games in and have 0 5-on-5 goals. He's got to be better. He can't be a power play merchant. And that's why I'm on them. So, but yeah, the defense has really been strong. That's been one of the biggest keys to this thing. They had a leaky game against Minnesota, and the third period against Detroit was not good. I would say that, but overall, they have been a very good defensive team, very good so far. So big time step up for them. Spicy pork and broccoli for everybody, because Domingue was excellent tonight. Excellent. That second period was awful, flat out awful, just like it was in Minnesota on Saturday night. Yeah, without Domingue playing the way that he played in net, the Rangers lose this game. Flat out. I don't even want to hear it. I'm sorry. And if you watch that game and you think otherwise, I don't know what you were watching, because Domingue was incredible for them in that second period. He kept them afloat. He was amazing, and he made some big saves in the third too. So I love Domingue's performance, and that's why I didn't want to go too hard on the whole Benoit Allaire point, because I'm going to have to bring him up again here. Are we seeing Benny's work again with Domingue? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like we're seeing Benny work more magic on a guy who we didn't think would be playing in the NHL this season. Now all of a sudden, we're in the first week of November, and Igor Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick are banged up. And Domingue is just playing great. He played great in this game. So if the Rangers can give him the defensive effort that they gave him for 40 minutes of that 60, and he can play like that in the rest of the time, the Rangers may not miss a beat with this guy in net. And that's crazy to think about, because he hadn't had a win since 2022 in the playoffs against this same Ranger team. So, Louis Domingue, thank you, Spicy Pork and Broccoli, for everyone tonight, because you played like an absolute animal, especially in that second period. Welcome to New York, Blake Wheeler. He gets his first. I still think he needs to give a lot more, but seeing him get his first, maybe that's a change of fortune for Blake Wheeler. Maybe things turn around with him, and that's key for the Rangers, because right now they're not really getting any right wing production other than Alexis Lafreniere. No one on this team on the right wing is giving you anything offensively outside of Alexis Lafreniere. And that's a big problem. That's a real big problem. And it's a problem the Rangers have had for 3 seasons now. 21-22, 22-23, and this year. And they got a bit of right-wing production when they brought in Kane and Tarasenko last year, but they still needed more. So, Capo Caco, Blake Wheeler, got to be better. But welcome to New York, Blake Wheeler. Good to see him get his first goal. They needed that insurance goal. It was good. You could probably see the proverbial monkey off the back, just jumping off of his back at that point, because you saw the joy and the happiness in Blake Wheeler's face and the body language when that goal went in the net. So good for Blake Wheeler. Still think he needs to be better. But hopefully this is the start of better things to come. Will Cooley gets another assist, and the Rangers found a second-round gem in him. I think this is a player that's going to be a core player for this team for a while. And you know what? You don't necessarily have to be a superstar player to be a guy that's a key player on a team that wins. I think Will Cooley is one of those guys. He battles. I love the way he made a great defensive play in the second period to stop what would have been an odd man rush. He came back on the back check, and that was a real good defensive play. That's not a play that you expected from a 21 or 22-year-old kid that's just getting his feet wet in the NHL. But he made it. But yes, this team turned Elias Anderson into Will Cooley. Just remember that. The kid who threw the silver medal into the crowd at the World Juniors all those years ago, who turned into a total bust, the Rangers turned that pick into Will Cooley. Amazing. And he's been great. Whoever he's played with, he's been great. He's been a motor. He's been one of those guys that really has been a big time player for this team. This is a great point right here. The Rangers get a big scheduled break after the Sunday game, and that's time for the players to rest and heal. So maybe things, start to go for, and take a turn for the better on the injury front after Sunday's game. But Sunday, that's a big game for them. They can get another 2 points, and then they can go into the break, and that could be a real underrated game for them, in the aspect of that if you get those 2 points and you head into that break, and you get some of these players back from injury. Let's just say they get one of Quick or Shesterkin back. Let's just say Hedl comes back, something like that. That would be a big time morale boost for this team. You know what, Leo? I would throw Trocheck back down with Cooley. I think that line was playing so well together that I would not want to break that line up. I really wouldn't. I think Hedl, Panarin, and Lafreniere played very well together too. And yeah, Brody, I'm actually with you here. I think there's a lot more offensive potential than I think almost any Ranger fan thought with this guy. I actually think that he could be like what Tom Wilson is. I think he plays that type of game. And you know what? I said that he was, for all the AEW fans in here, our scumbag was what we wanted him to be. Our Tom Wilson. So, yeah, we want that. Could you imagine having the kid line 2.0, though, with Hedl, Cooley, and Kakko? That would be a real fun line to watch. So, yeah, and I agree here. Cooley will be a fan favorite. So, yeah, and that's the thing. I this is great. The whole Papa thing with the Broadway hat after Tuesday night's game. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want that, and I think that's great. I think it's amazing. I think that when you have somebody that you can learn from and learn how to be a pro from, like Cooley is doing with Trocheck, that goes a long way. And I don't think enough people talk about that mentorship, that guiding light, having somebody in that corner looking over your shoulder and say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to be at the gym at this time. You need to be practice 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes early. Be the first guy out on the ice. Come with me. I'll show you what this is. And this is another really good point for Brody. The team is bonding. And the group hug or huddle, whatever Laviolette wants to call it, I'll let Peter call it whatever the hell he wants. You do what you want, coach. I am not doubting you right now. That is proof of that. It's absolutely proof of that. I would disagree with you on Kakko. I just don't. He looked a little more assertive, if you want to say that. Yeah, I just think there are times where he needs to kind of really be more ballsy, and I want more from him overall. Yeah, Benino saved a wide open goal for Zuccarello, which is great because we would have had to hear about Zuccarello all over Twitter. Oh, well, we need Zuccarello back. We need Zuccarello back. God forbid he would have scored in one of those games. So, but that's really all of the good that I have in regards for tonight. So
that's good.
We'll move on to the bad. I only have two things that I'm going to say that are bad, and it's obviously this. Bad second period. Minnesota controlled the play again. They took it to the Rangers. Rangers need to clean that up a little bit. Usually the Rangers have been really good in the second period this year. Actually, wow. Seattle just scored with 31 seconds left to take the lead on Colorado. Wow. Ooh, that's going to be a tough loss for Colorado. But Minnesota once again controlled the play in the second period. They fell behind 1-0 only this time instead of 3-0, and they really took it to the Rangers in the second. And Louis Domingue, thank God he was real good tonight because they would have lost that game if he wasn't. But Rangers need to stop having these periods of extended play where they're hemmed in their own zone. They are hemmed in their own zone way too often. They don't know how to clear the pucks out. Then the players get tired, and the puck handler and the other team, the opposition, end up skating circles around them for multiple minutes at the time. So I like this comment here from you, John. Drury doesn't get enough credit for changing the culture by letting Turk go and bringing in cheap vets and hiring a proven coach like Lav. Agreed. How can anyone argue this? How? He needs more credit for it. Got to give Chris Drury the credit. So, if Kane would accept a 1-year, $1 million AAV deal, yeah, I don't see what the downside is in Patrick Kane at this point. I don't think Kane's going to Colorado, though. I think he wants to come back to New York. I mean, he said that there was unfinished business here, so he is literally the bride in Kill Bill, calling out to Oren Ishii and saying, we have unfinished business. Yeah, I'm going to drop that reference on you all. And the other thing, terrible officiating. How do the Wild not get called for a minor penalty for almost 53 minutes? 53 minutes almost. They don't get a minor penalty called on them. Unreal. I cannot believe the way that they got the stuff they got away with tonight. And you know what? Thank God it didn't hurt the Rangers. But yeah, they're a good team. But I don't see how you can let a team that plays the way that they do not get called for a penalty for almost 53 minutes. Because they should have been called throughout each period for at least one or two penalties, if not more. But that's all the points that I have. Otherwise, I will go through some comments. I'm not going to stay on for too long because it is getting late. I was at a friend's house watching the game, so wanted to come on and do this. Yeah, 2 games in a row, Minnesota only 1 penalty. Seriously, where are we going to put Kane? Romanello, you could put him with Zibanejad and Kreider. They need a third guy at 5v5, and Kane would help them. I don't agree with this. I think Kane could sign for under $2 million because there are concerns about that hip. And I don't think he's getting anywhere close to that $5 million that was supposedly being floated around earlier. I don't think any team is going to give him that right now. I would agree with Leo. You know, he wants that legacy cup. I think he does. So go through some of these other comments here. Romanello, yeah, I do agree with this. They believe that they're never out of a game, and I think part of that is coaching. I think part of that is the coach talking to the players and establishing a relationship with the players. They never had that with Gallant. QWERTY saying, I loved watching Cooley when he was with the Spitfires. He was a great captain. Yeah, you know what? I like that. Cooley was a captain for one of the better teams in the OHL, and it's good to have somebody that was in a leadership position like he was. Lafreniere was the captain of Rimouski Oceanic. So, maybe these are guys that end up taking leadership positions one day. Kane is on the first. Is that place Wheeler on the fourth? Yeah, I think so. David, Buffalo could offer him that, and they're supposedly one of the teams in the running, but I don't think he's going there. I don't think he wants to go there. Mr. Pops Rushmeyer, yeah, I think he's probably doing that on his own, but Saravalli is saying that he's probably going to sign within a few weeks. So I think that's what the time frame really is. Only worried about Kane. We got $3 million in cap space. It seems like it's Kane or a few depth parts. Ronell saying, do we have the depth in the AHL to forego a depth D guy and a Mop? You know what? I like Tyler Mott, but we've went there before. We've tried it twice. I think they should go elsewhere. This is a great stat from Chris T. Artemi Panarin has 3 more points than Derek Stepan did for the Rangers in 234 less games. While it's not necessarily surprising, it is a really good stat, and I do enjoy seeing that. So I like Mott's speed, but he doesn't give you a lot offensively. Is he a good defensive player and penalty killer? Sure. But I don't know how much of an upgrade he is over Tyler Pitlick at this point. So now with Lafreniere, Cooley, Hoffman, and Kreitz, do we resign Panarin in 2 years? I think they're probably going to have to. It just depends on what he's looking for. But again, I think we're thinking a little too far down the road to really kind of adjust to talk about that. John with a good comment here saying that the staff makes a difference. Pekka, Housley, Muse have all made differences. Christian Umura is somebody that's not getting talked about at all. I think that all these guys have made a difference. Laviolette obviously as well, but it's night and day what this staff has done as opposed to the previous staff. This is a funny one. I don't know if this is tongue-in-cheek from you, Leo, but is Goodrow embracing the goon role in an attempt to stick it out in New York? I don't think he's ever not been a guy that wouldn't throw down. He's done it in the past with this team. He's done it for Tampa and San Jose. He'll fight. And you know what? Good, because every now and then you're going to need that guy that's going to throw in fisticuffs and get dirty. And Goodrow has, he definitely likes to mix it up a little bit, and that's important at times. I hate the fact that people they understate the importance of something like that every now and then. And I'm not saying you need a Peter Worrell or you need a Steve McKenna or somebody like that really can't play the game at a plausible level to stay in the league. Like, you really need a guy that could just step up at the time and kind of, throw his hat into the ring and play well and fight and really kind of enforce that physical presence in a certain spot. So I like what I'm seeing from Barclay Goodrow in that regard. Duhaime had been running around the last 2 games between the Rangers and the Wild, and he was crashing creases, playing physically. I tell you right now, Barclay Goodrow sent a message there, and that was a message that needed to be sent. I was definitely not a fan of those 2 punching bags. I can tell you that right now. Those guys were not good players, and they definitely did not belong in the league. So But yeah, that's another thing. Maybe Barclay Goodrow is inspired by being a new father. You never know. That's something that plays into factor. You're energized. You have a kid. You're excited. You're pumped up. Serotonin boost is there. Maybe that's what's going on with Barclay Goodrow. I'm going to do about another 10 minutes, I would say. So get your questions, comments in. Yeah, Goodrow definitely beat the crap out of Duhaime. We needed that. Absolutely needed that. What channel is the Edmonton Oilers Sharks game on? Is that a TNT game or an ESPN game? Because I can't seem to find that on center ice. Oh, it's an ESPN Plus. Is it a strictly ESPN Plus game? Because usually that's on center ice too. Oh, maybe it is strictly an ESPN Plus game then. All right, I'll go throw that on. How about Reeves getting punted for 2 periods against Boston? Yeah, I mean, oof. That's Ryan Reeves has not been good in Toronto, and they brought him in to, kind of bring a physical presence on a locker room swagger. I just don't see that effect with Toronto right now. I don't see it. I don't. Let's see here. I love watching these old these old regular season games on YouTube. I get for some reason I found Rangers fan 819 on YouTube, and he just has random regular season games throughout all regular seasons, going back even before the lockout and stuff like that in 2005. It's great. I love it. I gotta go find ESPN Plus though. Yeah, and you can't hit what you can't catch, and that's really the issue. And Ryan Reeves can't catch a lot of those guys. When can we say Pittsburgh is officially dead? I don't know. That's a good question. This is another good question, and that kind of ties into the last one from John Lee, Joe Shane Train. I don't know if Washington can even afford to do that right now with Ovechkin. So, better hockey family. Stahl brothers or Hughes brothers? I think the Hughes brothers are probably going to end up being a better family. This is a good question from Leo. When was the first Rangers game I ever saw? I don't know. It actually might be Rangers Bruins. No, I think it was before that. Actually, I was going to say Rangers Bruins 91, 92 home opener where Gartner won it in overtime. That I think I've watched games before that, but I was very young. I don't even remember, honestly. I don't. I do remember watching the Rangers against the Kings for the first time when I was a kid, and watching Wayne Gretzky and just being absolutely mesmerized by what he was doing back then. I was very, very young. Yeah, Pittsburgh's farm system is not good, Bailey. It's really not good at all. So I think this might be the answer that you were looking for, Joe Shane Train, is the Caps and Pens can rebuild when their two, generational talents retire. So I think you'd be a fool not to, depending on what the price is, Joe Shane Train. I mean, Sidney Crosby's still going to be a great player, but I don't think he's going anywhere other than Pittsburgh. Rangers versus Whalers preseason in Hartford, 93. Wow, that's a good one for you, Romanello. That's a real good one for you, actually. That was the prime era of the CVS line in Hartford. I don't like those league third jerseys, Chris T. I don't. Maybe it looks better as a uniform, but the jerseys themselves, if the stripes on the bottom would match the stripes on the arms, and the stripes on the arms were the ones that were on the bottom as well, I think it would look a lot better. But it's just kind of bland. Why? Your first game, Brody, was at about age 4 hearing on MSG radio, on the radio from MSG, cheering Eddie for Eddie Jockman. Wow. That's showing your age. That is definitely showing your age. 2007 or 2008 Rangers versus Capitals. It's a good time. Good time. Going to go through some of those other ones. B. Riot, this comment I saw before I wanted to go with. Barnaby was the last Goonish guy with some skill they had. I like Matt Barnaby in New York. Loved Matt Barnaby in New York. Christy saying 2005 Yager, the Yager year, the 2005-2006. I tell you right now, I watched all those games, and I still watch a lot of those classic games. Or not really, like I shouldn't say they're classic, but they're, like I said, check Rangers fan 819. I just put it in the chat. The Rangers fan 819 on YouTube. He posts a lot of random regular season games, some wins or some losses, but you can watch a lot of games from like the pre-lockout years and the dark days, even like the just after the lockout years, just after the 2000 lockout. 2005 lockout, I should say. A lot of those games, and I tell you right now, those two teams were just fun teams, especially that 2005-2006 team. Nobody expected the Rangers to be good that year. It was just Yager, and we didn't know Yager was going to have a 54-goal, 123-point season. But I tell you right now, he was so fun to watch, and nobody knew Lundqvist was coming and was going to be that good that early. Like, it's just, he was great. Yager was so good. Lundqvist was so good. Yager, Straka, and Nylander was such a fun line to watch. And then a lot of people, he doesn't get enough credit here, but Marty Rucinski was actually really good that year. He was actually a point per game for the Rangers, although he missed some time. Malik and Roosevelt was their top pairing. Tootny and Kasparaitis was another pairing. Ozelinch and Strudwick. And Jason Strudwick was actually decent for them. And funny enough, Jason Strudwick actually scored the first goal of that season. I remember. I'll never forget this. It was the first game that was ever aired on OLN, Outdoor Life Network, OLN, before it became Versus, before it became NBC Sports. And I had to convince my stepfather to order OLN. I was like, order OLN. It's going to be $5 a month more on the cable bill. So I ordered OLN and made sure that we had center ice also that night, so I could watch the Rangers versus the Flyers. And I ordered it, and just as the game actually turned on, Jason Strudwick scored the first goal of the season, the first goal of the cap era for the New York Rangers in Philly. Yager had 2 goals that night, and I believe, if I'm correct, one of them was a power play goal, and Marcel Hossa had a big night for them as well. But yeah, Peter Sikora was a great pickup mid-season for them. Peter Pruka had a 30-goal rookie year. Henrik Lundqvist, he if it was any other year, Henrik Lundqvist may have won the Calder. But having Ovechkin and Crosby putting up 100 points as rookies, and Ovechkin with 52 goals to be third in goal scoring, and he had 106 points on a team in which he outscored Dinas Zubris by almost 50 points. He had 49 points more than Dinas Zubris on that Washington Capitals team. he was so fun to watch, Ovechkin. Oh, man. Yeah, Alexander Ovechkin's rookie year may be one of the most exciting years I've ever seen of a player. He just the things that he would do in that rookie year were just ungodly. He was just bowling people over, scoring goals every which way possible. Oh, just so good. So good. That was a fun year, 2005, 2006. If I could tell you any current, like any year to go watch, if you wanted to watch a fun Ranger team that was just a pleasure to watch in and out, the HMO line with Hallweg, Moore, and Ortmeyer was just a fun little energy line. They didn't give you many goals, and Hallweg took a lot of dumb penalties because he charged and boarded guys, but they were a fun line to watch just because they'd go out there and you knew people were going to just get ran over. Ortmeyer and Hallweg were just going to run through whoever they could run through. Yeah, and Yager putting up 123 points at 34 years old is just straight. It's just unreal. Unreal. Steve Ruchin was good for them as a good two-way center. Just incredible. Incredible little team that if they had one or two more pieces, they maybe could have gone a little further. And then the Yager shoulder injury in playoffs when he tried to check Scott Gomez just kind of really put them behind the eight ball, and then they ended up getting swept. But just really, really good. And no, Mario Lemieux actually did not have more points at an older age. No. So Lemieux's last 100-point season was in 96-97 before he retired. So, yeah, Tom Pody was just a bad he did not have a great year for them. He was okay on the power play at times, but he did not. So, yeah, definitely check out Ranger Central here. It's Core Python, C. Jeffs, and Zook. Great podcast to watch. I've actually been on with them, so check them out. Core does his own post games as well. But yeah, I just love the adjustment there after the second period. So not even Gretzky put up 123 and 34. You know, Evan sent you here. I'm not sure who Evan is. Maybe by name. I'm sorry, but definitely welcome to the channel, Logan, and welcome to the channel, everybody who I'm seeing in here. I'm sure there's other people that I've missed. Oh, Core sent you here. Okay, awesome. Love it. Oh, Evan is Core. Okay. See, I don't even know. See, I didn't even know freaking Core. I always just called him Core. That's great, man. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you, buddy. You're the best. But this has just been an awesome team to watch, as Logan said. It's fun. And I said it before on Twitter. They're finding ways to win games. All these injuries, and they're somehow finding ways to win. Last year, they would have found ways to lose. And yeah, I expected a slow start too. I did. I expected a slow start. So, oh, please. Justin, oh, God. So, Maria posted a status about, meeting Mark and everything and how, they're engaged. And I'm very, very happy with the two of them. They just seem to be so great together. But I had to get a funny little jab in, and I got her to crack up a bit. And I put on the comment I was about to say, this is one time where we can't use the Mark messed up gif. So she got a laugh out of that because knowing Mark, he would have found a way to mess that up somehow. He would have maybe called her Marie instead of Maria, knowing Mark. But no, Mark has not called her Marie, and he has done well. So very happy for Mark. Thank you very much, Logan. Appreciate that. as we, actually the subscribe thing just came over there up top, but we have videos that, say like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, he scores off the ice now instead of on the ice. Yeah, never mind. It's the stick's fault. Yeah, that's what I was ribbing him about yesterday. So, but we all love to rib Mark, but Mark's such a great sport. He really is. And he's a great guy. I've known Mark for, I would say, about 10, 11 years now. He really is one of the good guys that I know. Yeah, if he calls me that, I think we got problems. If he calls me Justin, we got some serious issues. But I think he may do it just to mess with me at some point. But yeah, you know what? He knows his stuff, but he can be the comic relief, and he embraces it. And that's one of the best parts about this. It's that he has fun with it. He rolls with it. He rolls with all the punches. There are times where Anthony and I do get on him a little bit, but he's a good sport. So this show doesn't work if it's not three of us. I'm going to be honest with you. I like doing these, but I would much rather have all three of us or me and Mark doing these Rangers wrap-ups. But I'm not going to bother him because I know, one, he works a lot of these late nights, and two, now with Marie in the picture, I don't want to take up too much of his time. He does enough for this channel. I really don't think you guys understand how much he actually does for this to make this work. So I really got to give him a shout out. He does a lot. There's a lot of texting going on during the day. I wish I could be more responsive while I'm working, but I mean, Captain Layup. Oh, God. I think I'm going to call him that now. I really want to get like the two of you together and me be there this time because I wasn't there the last time for that. So I want to see you and Captain Layup and just see how the two of you interact in person, because this is something I almost want to film, because I feel like this would just be hilarious. Even though I know that we were all in that chat together, the stream that you guys ran. So, but it was good to do that. I want to do more of those. That would be a lot of fun. So, thank you, Brody. We do appreciate that. And a lot of you guys that are in there is a lot of guys that that are in the chat right now, and girls too. I know I can't forget the girls. So, I think that you're right. We do have something here, and it's fun how the three of us work together. And I got to agree with Leo here. I think Anthony brings in a layer, and he brings in a different dynamic. And as Anthony and I have been friends for almost 20 years now that Anthony and I have been friends, and we're pretty close. And yes, you do print out that gift just in case. You do. You absolutely print that out. And thank you, Romanel. I appreciate that. And it was good to get to meet you in person last year at the game. So, but going back to this comment, I do agree. Anthony was a surprise, and it ended up being a real good surprise. So, he's been a big part of this channel too. He watches a ton of hockey despite having a lot on his plate. Helping his wife out and everything, and watching the kids and stuff, and being a father. He's been a real good father, really has. So, Anthony, yes, you don't think that I would remember meeting you? I remember. If I meet anybody from this channel, I absolutely remember them. Jalen, who used to come into our chats a lot, was actually the first commenter that I'd met from here, and he found us at the it was a preseason game to the start of the 21-22 season, and he found us, and I was totally shocked that someone went out of their way. DP, who chats in here too, I met him actually that same night. So Anthony, you know what's funny? Anthony has a pretty level-headed approach to this. And even in all the years that I knew him, he does get a little, and we all do it. I'm biased towards the Rangers, obviously. They're my team. But Anthony is very level-headed. He's a hockey. He's not just an Islander fan. He's a hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan. But yeah, he'll have some interesting points to go over. I think he sees a lot of the stuff that I do. Anthony and I see eye to eye on a lot of things, despite our difference in teams. You'd be shocked. Yeah, I would say Mark is probably watching this. He's probably laughing at this comment. I'll tell you that right now, because he knows it's true. So, guys getting married, have kids, man, they grow up so quickly. Yeah, they do. They do. I remember when Anthony started dating Tony Ann, and she's a great woman. She really is. I absolutely adore her. She's an amazing mother. She runs an aesthetics business, and she has, I think, 3 locations now, and they're all doing really, really well. So considering what she's balancing between work, parenting, and supporting Anthony in trying to get into the hockey media world, A+ job on Tony Ann's part. Because it's not easy. It really isn't. So I am all on board for this. So whoever is going to the Stadium Series game at MetLife between the Rangers and the Islanders, please post it in here. I want to try to organize something where we can meet up early before the game and stuff. Mark has advised me that he has tickets for us. So I will definitely be there. Chris T is going to be there. Romanella, I too agree with you. I mean, it's awesome to meet fans that are just crazed about this team. I'm sorry. I totally agree with you. I don't mean to laugh at this comment, but I just saw this one from David. And yeah, I think Anthony needs to stop pissing off Lou. So, Romanello, would be good to see you again. I know you're going to be there, Evan. I know you're going to be there, and that's going to be awesome. So, I'm going to have to call you by your real name now. You know that, right? So, Maddie, I love that. Would definitely love to see you. We will be there no matter what. Luke's Superfish is a new one. I definitely, I'm not, again, everybody who I haven't said welcome to already, welcome to the channel. Love having you all here. I try to do these as often as I can. Sorry about it being so late. I was actually at my buddy's house watching a game. So my buddy had shoulder surgery a few weeks ago. He's actually a single parent, but he's a diehard Ranger fan. He's one of my oldest friends from hockey. And I try to go see him a few times a week just to check in and see if he's okay, because his shoulder's still pretty bummed. Calcium deposits on his shoulder, had them removed, but the calcium deposits from laying there for so long were they tore his rotator cuff. So yeah, I try to go and see him. Leo, I totally get it. Like you and Tomas would be great to see you guys, but in another country is definitely kind of tough. Joe Shane Train, I feel you there, buddy. It's so expensive. Oh, C-Jets is coming too. Awesome. Definitely want to meet you guys. I've met Steven. Steven's fun to hang out with. Good dude. Definitely hang out with I hung out with him. You know what's funny? He was at Boss Croker's, Mark's bar, and my left nut, or my right nut, David, who's like one of my real life best friends, comments in here a lot. He invited me out. He's like, come out to Croker's. I'm out of Croker's. Let's get some drinks. Let's hang out. Cool. All right, cool. I had nothing going on that night. I go in and I walk in. I go to say hi to Mark, and I walk right past Steven. And I'm not thinking Steven's in New York. Like, Steven's in another country. Like, no way. It's not Steven. So he kind of goes, hey. And I'm like, okay, doesn't register to me. And I turn around and it's fucking Steven. I'm like, holy crap. He's actually here. Couldn't believe he was actually there in person. But I got to hang out with him for a few hours. It was a good time. Met his wife, Kat, too. Very nice. I have nothing but good things to say about them. They were both very, very nice. So, good time. Definitely knows his shit. You want to talk to somebody who knows his shit? Steven's a guy. He knows he's one of the better prospect follows too out of all the prospect accounts out there. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome, Matt. Definitely have to meet you at some point. Would love to meet everybody here, and I love this community. This community is great. Yeah, the Twitter part gets a little annoying because there's just drama and it gets high schoolish at times. So I try to detach myself from that a little bit. But I've met some awesome people from Twitter. My friend Nick, I've met Kim. I've met from Twitter. Mike, I've met Lou, even though I know some people don't like Lou. I get along well with Lou. But Lou is fun to hang out with in person. There's other people, I could go through that I've met from Twitter, and other people from other teams from Twitter. I have a Devils follower, a mutual named Eric, and he's just a funny friggin' dude. Would love to meet him one day. But yeah, this whole online community is just awesome. It's fun. It really is. And you know what? Meetups and stuff like that and getting to meet everybody, it's cool. It's funny because you're like, oh shit, you're actually in front of this person. You don't know what to say at first and stuff. And it's a different element, different dynamic, but it's awesome. Like you end up getting to talk to people and like, hey, you know what? Let's shoot the shit the way we do online. Same shit. It's just now there's an in-person dynamic, So unrelated, but Adrian Kempe is starting to become an elite player. He scored 40 goals last year, but it looks like, yeah, Adrian Kempe is a hell of a skater and he's a hell of a scorer. Really, really, really good player. And that's a guy I wish the Rangers had. And yeah, I've liked Kempe for a while. I didn't think he would turn into a 40-goal scorer, but I always thought that 30+ could be possible for him. And it's crazy to see his evolution. Like he has just been a hell of a player for a while for that team. So, but the Penguins and Kings tied 2-2 right now in second intermission. That's an interesting game. Let's go Kings, obviously. Kempe's got 6 already. So, but yeah, definitely a real good player. Oh, you got to print that layup gif. You definitely got to print it. So great to have you on again, Leo. Have a good night. We'll see you probably Wednesday. But Brody, this is pretty cool that you have a granddaughter. And you take her to a game. That's the type of stuff that you kind of live for at that point, So, how do I think Jones has been? I think he was better this game. I didn't think he was good against Minnesota the first time around, though. And I thought he was okay against Detroit. I had to go back and watch it because I was actually at the Islander game, funny enough. Had free tickets for that game and Verizon Lounge access. So that was fun. Awesome experience. But I think that Jones has been better the last 2 games. The first game was just not a good game for him. So great to see Laffy and Byfield finally put it together. Yeah, I would agree. Joe Shane Train. This is my Twitter right here at 92in82. So if you want to follow it, I'll post it in the chat. I ramble like a madman about this team on there. I also post stuff about music, wrestling, and other ridiculous memes and random thoughts and stuff. Post a bit about the Knicks too, and the Giants, even though the Giants. You see this wall behind me? If you ever see a head-sized dent in that wall, it's probably because I was watching the Giants at home when I shouldn't have been. I should watch them elsewhere so I don't go and do things like that. So, and how much I love Hal Steinbrenner. Yeah. And this guy too. Are you guys trying to get me angry right now? I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm already. I said I was going to get off of here 20 minutes ago, and I'm still going. So, Roman L, that's a good question. We did a suite, and the only reason why me and Mark had that suite last year, funny enough, Maria was actually at that same game, and Mark and I went into the suite. We had free tickets to that suite through a friend. So, yeah, Cashman and Hollywood, yeah, I don't even. And then this Hal Steinbrenner one was just so out of touch. Like, what were you doing? What were you saying there, Hal? Like, do you really like we all knew that you had no idea of what you were doing, but you just outed yourself there. You completely outed yourself, Hal. The Goodrow Duhane scrap was good. Goodrow put it to him. He put the brakes to him and really beat him up. So, yeah, that was the draft night. We stayed up for a while because there was a good amount of people in the chat. I think we had like 70 or 80 people like viewing, and the chat was going, and I couldn't even catch up to the comments. They were coming in so quickly. Yeah, and that's a big problem, Evan. Unacceptable from Hal, and then we're a good team from Cashman. Like it's like one side of the mouth. Like the horse's mouth is saying things that are coming out completely different out of the horse's ass. Where is the disconnect? So, yeah, the Yankees need to bunt more. Yeah, they do need to bunt more, but they also need to just completely rehaul this team and get rid of Giancarlo Stanton in that awful contract because he can't stay healthy. But I am going to wrap it up now. It is starting to get late. So thank you all for staying with me. I appreciate it. Another big win tonight. We're not back on until Saturday night. I don't think I'll be doing one Saturday night just because I think I'm going to be out. I think I'll be at my buddy's house watching the game. So, yeah, I had to come home a little earlier just so I can actually get some sleep tonight. But definitely, I'll definitely be on next Wednesday. We're obviously our Wednesday show, 5:30 is when we're about to start from now on. So we will be sticking with that as our weekly show. We're going to try to incorporate more stuff down the road, but that's all stuff that's in kind of like the preliminary stages. But thank you all, guys and girls, for staying with me here. Appreciate it. Thank you for the new followers, for subscribing and viewing and everything like that. Tell everybody about us. Let the world know. Spread that big apple hockey virus, as Mikey would call it. But again, I appreciate it. Love having the new viewers. And as the time gets closer to the Stadium Series game, we are definitely going to talk more about a meetup. So definitely stay tuned for that. So thank you all. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you, everybody else. Have a great night, and I will see you all Wednesday. Let's go, Rangers. W stream, definitely. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate it, buddy. Take care.